यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। My best wishes and paripurna ashirvadam. May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and entire your family members and friends. Today we are going to see a summary of the 6th chapter. The name of the 6th chapter, as we learnt, Dhyana Yoga, and one more name also specified among these learned people called Atma Samyama Yoga. Atma means in that place mind, Samyama means restraining, the restraining of the mind. That restraining is nothing but digestion of the knowledge we learnt in the name of Vedanta. This dhyanam is divided in two portions as a twofold meditation. The first portion, before attaining knowledge. In order to get jnana yogyata, we do meditation. That meditation is known as upasana. That upasana specifically depended on forms saguna, brahma, manasika, dhyana, vyapara. The technical term for that, don't get scattered, just bear with me, I will explain everything to you. Saguna means with a form, like we select any deity, Mahavishnu, Lord Shiva, Saraswati, Lakshmi and Adiparashakti, Ranganatha. So whoever the deity, that if you feel convenient, you can select. And after selecting that, you are dwelling on that, you are setting dharana, dhyanam, samadhi, everything is possible. At that time it is known as upasana alone. Jnana yogyata siddhyartham, it is said as upasana. In the upasana, there are so many preparation also is there. This itself known as preparation, integration or orientation of the mind. This has to be understood properly. In the beginning, when we begin for the spiritual life, immediately nobody is ready to contemplate. We have to bring our mind together. First, let us understand the meaning of the word dhyanam, then we will go to the content of the 6th chapter. Simultaneously from the chapter 1, whatever that we have learned, that also we are going to connect with the 6th chapter. That 6th chapter is the final chapter of the topic of Tvam Padartha Visheshaha. Tvam means an individual consciousness who exists or experienced with body, mind and sense complex. And don't search where is that consciousness. The consciousness is very much you and me and whoever you are connected with. All the people, they are conscious people. Every one of us, including all the creatures, even dead material, they are endowed with consciousness. Now you have to learn the language of Bhagavan Krishna. The Krishna is specifically mentions Jiva means Upadhi Sahita Atma. Atma means consciousness, that individual consciousness which is packed with body, mind and sense complex, which is known as Upadhi. Upadhi means medium. So medium means what? So the medium, see, mirror becomes a medium for the reflection. If you put under the sun is reflected on the mirror or in the mirror, that mirror becomes medium for that reflection. In the same way, the Vedantic language, this body is like a medium where I could experience myself as the consciousness. Now you are one of the Upadhi Sahita Jivatma. I am also Upadhi means body, mind and sense complex. Upadhi Sahita Jivatma. Now this is the first understanding. Jiva means so that consciousness. This Jivaha who is endowed with consciousness doesn't have the capacity to contemplate on one thing. We are not having capacity to contemplate on one thing. Therefore, this preparation for the study, preparation for the knowledge is known as that portion, that all activities which is in the form of meditation called Saguna Brahma Dhyana Rupa Manasika Vyaparaha. It's a mental transaction. Note the point, it's the mental transaction. You think and you are using your thinking to contemplate on something, on some subject. So normally meditation means people sit and relax. So that relaxation is the preliminary work for meditation. So when you relax your brain cells and when you set a calm and quiet body, mind, breath, you get a complete relaxation. But after that, the contemplation, dwelling on the subject matter is called the body, means the body of the meditation, which is in the form of process. That I had explained in the beginning itself. Now upasana means to dwell with something. That upasana means a process which in other word called meditation, dhyanam. This is a too technical language, but we have to assimilate it. Dhyana means there are two kinds. So one is before attaining the knowledge and after attaining the knowledge. The same process continues. So once you got knowledge, after that the same process will dimensionally will get a different dimension. I'm using a dimensionally will get different dimension means what? Completely it will change its nature. It is a flow of the process of the meditation. Now after achieving knowledge, when you continue with this meditation, that meditation is known as Nididhyasanam. And meditation alone, that meditation before knowledge, also it is called Dhyanam alone. This is also known as Dhyanam, but technically it is said Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means dwelling on the subject matter which is being received. Before attaining the knowledge, you dwell on your body, mind and sense complex to get the Jnana Yogyata. That's what the meaning of the meditation. Here it is given as the 6th chapter. Dhyana Yoga means they introduce both kinds of meditation. In simple way, preparation which is in the form of meditation for the knowledge. Then after attaining the knowledge, the digestion which is in the form of the meditation. Okay, that is the meaning, a proper meaning for the word. Now this chapter began with the clarity. Okay, now the chapter in the beginning itself I said the benefit of the meditation must be clear with your understanding. We have to understand what we will get out of the meditation. And whatever the meditation it may be from Patanjali, it may be from Buddhas, or it may be from Zen meditation, or whatever the meditation exists among us, all the meditations cannot be the direct means of moksha. It cannot bring the moksha. It is not moksha sadhanam. That is the first clarity one should have. Then it is not jnana karanam also. Moksha is because of knowledge. That knowledge which is endowed with the equation aham brahmasmi. That is the knowledge by which we can get moksham. But the meditation which is in the form of process won't bring the knowledge, because meditation is the mere process. It won't bring the knowledge. Any knowledge, in order to receive, you need to have valid pramanani. Pramanans means evident means, specific means for knowledge. The knowledge through 5 indriyas, which is backed up by mind, we call it pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, arthapati, anupalabdhi, shabda pramanam. So by seeing you can get the knowledge of the object. By hearing you can get the knowledge of the object. By assuming something, by seeing fog or by seeing the smoke, you can understand there is a fire. So that is the guessing job. So this kind of means, pratyaksha is the valid means through indriyas, and anumana is a guessing, inference, one step, second step, third step. So all steps of inference, they are the valid means for the knowledge, not meditation. Meditation cannot bring the new knowledge. Therefore, you should have the clarity. Meditation means dhyanam na moksha karanam. Dhyanam na moksha sadhanam. It is not the means of jnana sadhanam. It is not moksha karanam. It is not jnana karanam. So you cannot get moksha, you cannot attain knowledge. So moksha is attained through knowledge alone, but that knowledge also cannot be received by the meditation. Then how can we receive the knowledge? By having Shravana Mananam. Shravanam means what? So listening to a guru with a valid pramanas and studying scriptures with the eyes and with the ears, with the thinking faculty. So Shravanam brings the knowledge of Atma, not meditation. Then what else meditation will bring? Meditation will give complete relaxation. The system will be organized. Not only that, you will get more and more capable mind. We can sharpen the mind. We can sharpen the body. We can become a powerful physical, psychological system person. The system can be sophisticated, and it can be strengthened by the meditation. The meditation will give complete relaxation, and it will bring more healthy habit. You can control your mind. You will become more focused, concentrated, and also meditation will increase your ability in your life to think, to digest. So you will get complete strength. Then that strength, even it will bring anima, laghima, mahima, ashtama, siddhis. All those siddhis can be brought. Means all of them are power oriented, not knowledge oriented. The meditation will increase the power. The meditation will bring more energy to you. It will make your mind to become subtle and sharp and strength. That is possible by the mind. But a Vedantic student, he won't prefer to gain new power. He will sharpen the buddhi and mind, and he will get the healthy system in order to digest or receive or digest Atma Jnanam. This was the clarity in the beginning itself we saw before beginning the 6th chapter. Meditation is not moksha karanam or sadhanam. Moksha karanam only knowledge. Even meditation cannot bring knowledge. Na jnana sadhanam. But meditation can bring extra power. That is the clarity. With this clarity we began. In the beginning itself, Krishna introduced two kinds of means, sadhanani, for the meditation. So one is known as Bahiranga sadhanani, the general preparations for the meditation. The general preparations known as the beginning itself, he said samatvam. Samatvam means what? Samatvam means equanimity with all the creatures. Then you need to have the support of the second chapter. Now I am bringing the first chapter. The first chapter introduces the normal mind of the people, which is not suitable for meditation. Because that mind which is not eligible for meditation, and that mind which is not even informed the knowledge what to be received. So worldly, materialistically, all the knowledge was filled with the mind of Arjuna. The mind of Arjuna in which all the knowledge were filled. He knew lots of archery techniques, so he knows everything about the world. He knows how to administrate a country. He knows how to handle his physical, psychological system, and he knows how to fight with others. So all this talent, though he is endowed with all this kind of knowledge, that knowledge won't help in order to see or in order to observe a meditation. Whether the meditation is called upasana or nididhyasana doesn't matter. So inner journey only will begin when you go for upasana. For that you need to have samatvam. Preparing for the meditation, first we need to have the proper perception on others and on ourselves too. This perception is the beginning for the meditation, because by which you will bring a mind, the mind is matured, is not scattered by any outer object. You will get a proper mind. So Arjuna was introduced in the first chapter with the mind so confused, so loaded with so many emotions, and he was not able to make a proper decision. He didn't know what to be made as a proper decision. He made a wrong decision. So when you make the wrong decision, so many factors are behind. Okay, in the first chapter, the Arjuna was introduced with the uncultured, in the spiritual life I am telling, uncultured mind, and the not prepared mind, the mind which was completely not suitable for the spiritual seeking as the worldly person, and he became confused. He was not able to even continue his duty. Then in the second chapter, he made his mind as a viveka buddhi, little bit. He became aware that I am confused. That is the first, the beginning for the spiritual life. The first miracle should happen. Yes, something wrong with this human being. Not with the physical system, not with the psychological system, with the understanding. So in the understanding, we are lacking something. That is the first understanding. Then accepting the fact, Arjuna accepts, karpanya doshopahatas svabhavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Dharma sammudha chetaha. I am confused. I don't know what to be done. What is right? What is wrong? So this clarity. The clarity on self-confusion. Yes, we are confused. Yes, we are not informed people. That understanding is the first clarity. So that clarity helped Arjuna to surrender to Lord Krishna. By the surrendering action, he was able to connect with his Guru. Krishna became a Guru. This is how the second chapter begins. Okay, therefore, that first is we need to get equanimity, samatvam. For that, we have to be introduced what? Karma Yoga. The action must be analyzed, and the karma phala must be analyzed, and the factor of karma phala must be digested. Karman eva adhikar aste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhoho mate sangostva karmani. First of all, we don't have capacity to produce fruit. We have only capacity to perform action. We can utilize our free will. So kartum va akartum va anyata va kartum. Either I can do something or I can deny something or I can do in different way. These are all called free will. So I can utilize free will in the action. I can select the action to go further means to perform. I can select to not perform. I can choose to do in different way. So I can select the karma, various karma, but I cannot select the karma phala. So this karma theory must be understood. If you understand the karma, so you will find, oh my God, this world is nothing but my karma phala. All people around me, they are providing only my karma phala. Because I have received this sharira because of my karma phala, and I am situated among the people in order to enjoy my karma phala. It means all people surrounding environment is only to give the enjoyment according to my karma phala. So when you have this perception, you will become a very consciousness, awareful person regarding the world. Then you could see your ideology changes. You cannot have vengeance, or you cannot have a kind of omissions or commissions with anybody or with any incidents. That is what samatvam. So first Bhagavan introduces in the 6th chapter, one should be matured with the world and understanding of the world with karma, because world is connected with the karma alone. Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasanyasi cha yogi cha naniragnirna chakriyah. So first 2 verses, it talks about the person who wants to begin the meditation. To be a meditator, he has to be a sannyasi. Sannyasi means a very matured person inside, with a clear-cut understanding about the world. It's a big deal. And you may think, Swamiji, so are you teaching again old Gita from the beginning, or you are giving a summary? No, summary, little bit elaborate summary, so that we could recollect everything which we have completed in the 6th chapter. Okay? Because this is a point where the Tvam Padartha, the topic of an individual, is completed. So now the karma must be analyzed. See, half of the 2nd chapter, it analyzes the karma and karma yoga. This karma yoga gives an eligibility. The meditator should be a karma yogi. That is what the understanding. Now, a meditator should be a karma yogi means you should know what is karma phala. How can we convert karma, normal karma, into a karma yoga? It is told in the 47th and 48th, 49th verse of 2nd chapter. So from verse number 31 to 52 of 2nd chapter deals with karma. It's a very beautifully presented by Lord Krishna. You have to read it again and again and again. So then you can set the samatvam. Okay? Then he gives the next qualifications, means bahiranga sadhanani, to be prepared as the general preparation, self-confident. One should be endowed with self-confident. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandho atmaiva ripuratmanaha. So verse number 5 talks about the self-confident. How can you become self-confident person? That's what, once you understand yourself as the complete self, which was given in the second chapter from verse number 11th to 30. It talks about who you are. I am nothing but Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupaha Atma. I cannot be destroyed by any weapons in this world. It is known as Achedyo Yamadahyoyam Akledyo Shoshya Evacha Nitya Sarvagata Sthanohu Achaloyam Sanatanaha. I am Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Sanatanaha. So all these things were taught in the second chapter. That who am I? I am nothing but all pervaded consciousness. So when you realize it, you will get the self-confident. That self-confident, so here it talks about the mind. Mind should be endowed with the confident. That confident only can be gained by understanding the real nature of us. This is the second quality which is required for a meditator. Then the third quality, so self-effort. You need to have the self-effort. That self-effort, when you make self-effort, then alone you will get what you want. That too, in the spiritual life, you should be backed up with self-confidence and self-effort. This self-effort, that too will be leading to the self-control. So all these things are known as bahiranga sadhanani. Still there are some subject matters to be seen in the 6th chapter. We will continue in the next session tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.